Thank you everyone so much for being here and so excited for this one. My name is Jessie Spizzetto. I'm the executive editor at Narratively, and I'm so lucky to be here today with Lisa Williamson Rosenberg, Laura Green-Russell, and Christopher Blackwell. Thank you all so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It
Thank
feels
you.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you all here. I feel like it was such a dream when we first sort of had the idea. We were like, well, there's no way that they're all going to be able to do it at once, but like maybe we'll get lucky and get like one or two people. So it's just really like lovely to have you all here at the same time. And one of the reasons that we wanted to speak with you is because we love all of your stories so much. And as you all know, we're in the midst of doing the 2025 Narratively Memoir Prize, which is our fourth. Laura, you were the first winner ever of our first prize ever. So that's just really exciting to have you here and to
Thank
have
you.
yeah, and we just wanted to sort of, go over like what it was like for you all to write your pieces and, share some advice, anything you think that might have made your story stand out, advice you have for others. And well, I'm going to ask you a few questions and then we'll sort of open it up to people later. So part of it is just we want to like get everyone excited to do this and sort of see what it's all about. And I do want to start a little bit by just kind of going through what your stories are about. I know we've had them up on the site this week, so people have had a chance to read them this week if you hadn't read them before. There will be spoilers, but I think with all of your stories, it's really honestly to me, it's like all about the details. So even if I give all the major, points away right now, it's really truly if you haven't read them yet, please do after we talk. They're all so beautiful. I'm gonna cry already just talking about just talking about them before I even get into it. No, but it was really hard to try not to cry reading each of them again, sort of this time around. I didn't want to have a puffy face to talk to you all, but um, I really they're all just so moving and touching in different ways. And Chris and Laura, your stories are obviously about such big moments. And Lisa, you've somehow managed to tell your story that's about a big moment, but like not, as sort of like huge as these, but like in a way that make it really feel like monumentally sort of large. So briefly, Christopher's story is about a time that he went to solitary confinement in the Washington State prison that he is currently in. And I think you had been there many times before, correct me if I'm wrong. And this was a time kind of more recently in the past, I don't know exactly when, but like where past couple of years or so where you were sort of had this feeling being there as a journalist instead of just, having been kind of a prisoner there. And you were able to sort of like look at it in a new light and you had this kind of maturity that you hadn't had maybe in those during those earlier experiences. And you wrote about a really harrowing experience, but in a way that was very like eye-opening and beautiful. Laura, you were the first winner, as I said, and your story is about witnessing, probably the worst moment of your life, seeing your father killed before you when you were just 13 years old and sort of trying to get back to normal life, which I can't even imagine is obviously, impossible. And that was just absolutely beautiful. And Lisa, your story is about this royal blue leotard you had when you were a little girl that you were sort of gifted, and it felt like this ticket to belonging for you and going through the motions of like loving this thing and what it meant to you and eventually sort of turning your back on it when it no longer served you and what that felt like and what that was all about. So these are all again so beautiful in different ways. And what I wanted to sort of asking, start by asking is what was the writing process for all of you like?